The world's economy is shifting in ways we haven't seen in generations, with seismic changes rippling across continents and industries. And the effects are hitting closer to home than ever before, touching the lives of everyday people. Whether you're shopping for groceries, filling up your car, or running a small business. Tonight, we break down the powerful forces reshaping global trade, and what they mean for your wallet, your job, and your future. For decades, the U.S. has been at the center of a vast, interconnected system, driving innovation, trade, and prosperity around the world. But now, that system is under pressure. Inflation lingers, interest rates are up, and the cost of living continues to climb, squeezing household budgets. And a new challenge has emerged. BRICS nations, now expanded and more influential, are imposing coordinated tariffs on key U.S. exports, signaling a shift in global alliances. This isn't just a trade dispute, it's a direct challenge to American economic leadership, raising questions about the nation's role in the world economy. These tariffs make U.S. goods more expensive for buyers overseas, and less competitive in major markets, leading to lost sales, layoffs, and uncertainty for American businesses. The impact is widespread, sending shockwaves from Midwest farms struggling to sell their crops, to Silicon Valley tech firms facing new barriers, and to manufacturers across the country. We'll explain why this is happening, how it impacts you and your family, and what steps you can take to prepare for what's ahead. And we'll look at what the future might hold. Will these changes be temporary, or are we entering a new era of economic uncertainty? The stakes are high, not just for Wall Street and big corporations, but for every American family, as decisions made on the world stage ripple through our daily lives. Let's cut through the noise, break down the facts, and understand this pivotal moment together, because the choices we make now will shape our economic future. What is BRICS, and why is it suddenly making headlines around the world? You might have heard the term, but what does it really mean, and why does it matter to you, your job, and your community? BRICS originally stood for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, 5 major emerging economies. Recently, the group expanded, welcoming Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the United Arab Emirates. Together, these nations form a powerful alliance that stretches across multiple continents. Collectively, BRICS countries account for a massive portion of the world's population, over 40%, and a significant share of global economic output. Their influence is growing, and their decisions can shape the direction of the world economy. One of the key tools these countries use is tariffs, essentially, taxes placed on imported goods. Tariffs can make foreign products more expensive, giving local businesses a competitive edge. When BRICS nations impose tariffs on U.S. products, those goods become pricier and less appealing to consumers in those countries. This can lead to a drop in demand for American exports, affecting everything from agriculture to manufacturing. The main goal behind these tariffs is to protect their own industries from foreign competition, ensuring that local companies can grow and create jobs. At the same time, it's a strategic move to gain leverage in global trade negotiations, pushing back against trade rules that have historically benefited the U.S. and other Western economies. When a bloc as large and influential as BRICS acts together, the impact is enormous, especially for U.S. industries that rely heavily on selling goods overseas. A coordinated effort can shift the balance of power in international trade. This isn't just a random occurrence, it's a calculated strategy to challenge the existing trade dynamics and reshape the global economic order, which for decades has largely favored the United States. So, why should you care? Because these global shifts have real consequences for everyday Americans. American jobs, businesses, and entire communities depend on the ability to sell products around the world. When exports decline, it can mean fewer opportunities, layoffs, and economic uncertainty. A drop in exports can lead to factory closures, rising unemployment, and slower economic growth, making it harder for families to make ends meet. What starts as a policy decision overseas can quickly ripple through the global economy and land right on your doorstep, affecting your job, your bills, and your future. U.S.-BRICS relations have always been a mix of cooperation and competition. In the 2000s, these emerging economies were seen as new markets for U.S. goods. But tensions simmered over trade practices, intellectual property, and global influence. As BRICS nations felt sidelined by Western-dominated institutions, they built their own, signaling a desire for more power. The new tariffs are the result of years of frustration and a push for a multipolar world. BRICS is now asserting its own rules, marking a contentious new chapter in global trade. On August 20th, 2025, the expanded BRICS bloc announced unified tariffs on U.S. goods, effective October 1st. The targets American agriculture, advanced tech, and heavy machinery, sectors vital to the U.S. economy.
The BRICS message was clear. This is not aggression, but a call for a more balanced global trading system. Leaders emphasized protecting their own industries and recalibrating economic relationships.
The reaction was immediate. Stock markets tumbled, the dollar swung wildly, and commodity prices plunged.
$150 billion in U.S. exports are now directly hit, a major blow to an already fragile economy. Businesses scrambled to assess their exposure, while policymakers debated next steps.
The timeline is tight, and the world is watching. Will the U.S. escalate or seek a diplomatic solution? The stakes, a potential global economic crisis. The countdown to October 1st has begun. The next moves will shape the future of global trade. The BRICS tariffs are already hitting home.
American farmers, especially soybean growers, have lost key export markets almost overnight. Silos are full, prices are down, and many face selling at a loss.
The Department of Agriculture reports a 70% drop in soybean exports to BRICS nations.
Tech companies are also feeling the squeeze. Tariffs on semiconductors and software are making U.S. products less competitive.
Stock markets are volatile, and economic anxiety is rising in affected communities.
Political pressure is mounting, with lawmakers demanding action to protect jobs and industries.
For everyday Americans, the effects are real: higher prices, job uncertainty, and slower growth.
When export markets dry up, companies may raise prices at home or cut jobs.
Decisions made abroad are now shaping the financial security of families across the country. The world's economic web has never felt so close. To truly understand the impact of global economic shifts, we traveled to the heartland of America, rural Iowa. Here, farming isn't just a job, it's a way of life, passed down through generations. The rolling fields and small towns are the backbone of the community, where everyone knows their neighbors and the rhythm of the seasons shapes daily life. David Miller, a third-generation soybean farmer, stands by a full grain silo, his face etched with concern. The market disappeared overnight. I have loans to pay. I don't know how we'll make it through the winter. For David, and many like him, the sudden loss of buyers for their crops means more than just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's the threat of losing a family legacy, and the fear of not being able to provide for loved ones. In neighboring Illinois, the effects ripple outward. A factory that once bustled with activity, shipping heavy equipment to Brazil and India, now sits eerily quiet. Hours are being cut, and layoffs loom on the horizon. The hum of machinery has faded, replaced by uncertainty and worry. Maria Sanchez, a line supervisor, shares her fears. Overtime is gone. There are rumors of layoffs. My husband works here too. If we both lose our jobs, I don't know what we'll do. For families like Maria's, the factory isn't just a workplace, it's their lifeline. And the threat of losing it shakes the foundation of their future. The ripple effect doesn't stop at the factory gates. Small businesses along Main Street feel the pinch as well. When workers tighten their belts, local shops and restaurants see fewer customers, and the community's economic engine slows down.
A local diner owner explains, "When factory workers have less money, they don't eat out. My business is down 30% this month." The empty tables and quiet kitchen are stark reminders that every lost job or reduced paycheck sends shockwaves through the entire town. It's not just the factory workers or the farmers. It's the truck drivers who haul the goods, the suppliers who provide materials, and the countless others whose livelihoods depend on a healthy local economy. Each link in the chain feels the strain.
These stories from Main Street reveal the true human cost of global trade disputes. Behind every statistic are real people, families who worry about paying bills, workers who fear for their jobs, and business owners who wonder if they'll make it another month. For these families, the debate isn't about geopolitics or international policy, it's about survival. It's about keeping the lights on, putting food on the table, and holding on to hope for a better tomorrow. The anxiety is real, and the future remains uncertain. Every day brings new challenges, and the sense of unease lingers in homes, workplaces, and on the streets. Economic policy isn't just about numbers or charts, it's about people's lives, dreams, and the communities they've built over generations. The decisions made in distant boardrooms and government offices have direct, lasting consequences here. Listening to their voices, we're reminded of what's truly at stake. These are stories of resilience, but also of hardship and uncertainty. This is the true cost of a global trade war, not just in dollars and cents, but in the hopes, dreams, and daily lives of people on Main Street. We asked top economists for their take.
Dr. Evelyn Reed says the BRICS move was inevitable, a push for more global influence. The tariffs are a tool, but the real goal is a bigger seat at the table. Mark Theron, former U.S. trade representative, warns that retaliatory tariffs could trigger a trade war, hurting American consumers most. The smarter path targeted diplomacy and working with allies.
Market analysts say uncertainty is the biggest threat. Businesses are pausing investments, unsure of what's next. Even if the dispute ends soon, trust is broken, and global supply chains may never be the same.
Dr. Kenji Tanaka notes that some countries may benefit by filling the export gap, but a global slowdown would hurt everyone, especially the poorest nations. The world is entering a new era of winners and losers. The outcome is far from certain.
In Washington, the BRICS tariffs have sparked fierce debate. The president calls the move unjustified, promising to defend American interests, but specifics are scarce.
Congress is divided. Some demand emergency aid for farmers, others want tough counter tariffs.
The real debate is over strategy, multilateral diplomacy, or unilateral action. The administration faces a tough choice: act too weak and risk losing influence, act too strong and risk a global recession. Every option carries risk, and the world is watching. The next steps will define America's economic future. So what does all this mean for you? First, stay informed. Understanding these shifts helps you make better decisions for your family and finances. If you work in exports, you're on the front lines. If you're a consumer, expect ripple effects on prices and jobs. Now is a good time to review your budget and investments and to let your elected officials know how this is affecting your community. Your voice matters in shaping the response. This story is a reminder. Global events have local consequences. Our resilience and ability to adapt will be tested, but together we can navigate this new economic reality. Thank you for watching.